All right, guys, God bless you guys. Welcome to This Is It Before the Fire. Christ's purpose was to make one new man from the two. Like on my shirt, you see that? There's a testimony behind that, which is completely insane. Um, let me just, you guys are gonna freak out. Check this out. Okay, watch. Okay, I left on the trip. I did as the Lord commanded me to do. I packed up the stuff He told me to pack up. I told you, He told me He would give me my instructions. They would be fluid. He's told me what to do. I'm supposed to bring the rocks, the two rocks that I have that are with the bezel on them, and I'm supposed to deliver those to a very special spot that He's told me where they're going, but He hasn't told me when. Anyway, so during the evolution of what I'm doing, there's certain things that happen. For example, my motorcycle fell over on the trailer right as I was pulling out of San Antonio, and it bent the exhaust pipe. That's the reason I ended up at this place right here, and there's a testimony behind it. I mean, what are the odds that they turned the Triumph logo upside down and it's the sun rising? Triumph logo, sun rising, New Mexico. So anyway, I would never have ended up there. And again, I'm going to give you a small testimony about that. But just y'all want to freak out. Y'all want to see a miracle. Y'all want to see a mind blowing miracle. A miracle that you have to see to just wrap your head around. Okay, let's do it. Okay, remember I told you in the last video that this is what He had me doing. I I also made a statement. I don't want anyone to show up because I still get phone calls from people that say, "Look, I know that you've told people you don't want anyone to call you, but the Lord told me to call you." That's not true. He's already communicated to me, no. So then one of us is wrong. So either the person that did all this work and produced all this information, which is myself, the Lord used me to do it, either I'm wrong or the person calling me up is wrong. So I'm going to go with the one that told me and showed me all the information. So if anyone's saying, "Oh, the Lord sent me to your house or He sent me to meet you," I already know it's the enemy. Hands down, that's part of what I do. I have to have that line of communication. I place before you an open door. Okay, y'all ready for the miracle? So here we go, watch. I told you in the last video what I was here to do, right? To deliver the rocks and then to blow a shofar. Let me remind you, watch. Here we go. This is the last video. And there's the people like myself that are blessed, they get converted. And I become two eyes up instead of one up, one down, where I had no idea what the hell was going on. But when I was one up, one down, I made an honest plea: "Lord, please tell me what is going on. I just want to know the truth." And the truth has been made known now. All right, guys. I love you in Christ. I'm going to keep everybody like in my road thing. I'm heading out. The Lord told me just head out to touch base from my road, my roadie that He's sending me on. Again, I'm not telling people where and what I'm doing because I don't want anyone to show up and say, "Oh, the Lord sent me." No, no. The Lord told me I'm going on this one by myself, just me and the Lord. That's it. And He told me what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be delivering these rocks somewhere. And then He also told me I'm going to be blowing a shofar. Sounds very final, doesn't it? Okay, so there is what I said I was going to be doing in the last video. Okay, it's kind of interesting that one of the places I show up because out of necessity, when that motorcycle fell over in San Antonio, I prayed and I said, "Am I supposed to not leave yet? Am I leaving too soon? Do you want me to get the bike fixed before I leave?" And I heard the Lord say, "No, just go." And so on the road, I called and I said, "Siri, is there a Triumph dealership in New Mexico?" And it literally said, it said Motopia Royal Enfield Triumph. For those of y'all that have followed this ministry, the Royal Enfield was in Gennady. That's the motorcycle I had. It's called a Royal Enfield. I've never in my life seen Royal Enfield dealership or a Triumph dealership that has Royal Enfield with it, even though they come from kind of like one of the same holding companies. Royal Enfield Triumph at Motopia. Think like Utopia, but that's not the miracle. Y'all want to see the miracle? I said I was going to blow a shofar, right? I was in one of the locations. I was in a place called Angel Fire, which is one of the locations he sent me, and it was not at all my choice. He made it happen right in front of me. So I went there. Message received. The entire place was had been on fire. There was a huge forest fire, and the trees are burned, but they're not burned. It reminds me of the scripture that says, "In that day, every man's work will be tested, and if his if his work it will be tested by fire, and if it survives the fire, then there'll be a reward. But if his work doesn't survive the fire, then he himself will go through the fire, and it, will be." I'll have to look it up real quick to quote it exactly, but he'll basically burn, but not be burned by the fire. But his work will be tested by the fire. There's all these trees. They're burned, but they're not burned. I've never seen anything like it. I'll show you a video of it on the next video. Here's the miracle. Ready for the miracle? Here you go. You ready? Okay, watch this. Okay, so I was in Angel Fire, and I'd already gone there and stayed the night, and then I had to get to the dealership to get the motorcycle fixed, which was in Albuquerque, and that's a bit of a hike. And so on the way, I was praying, and I just said, Lord, I feel like I'm walking on very marshy ground. I just don't have a firm footing of exactly how this is going to roll out. I need you to make my way clear for me. As I was driving to Albuquerque, I was just praying and said, look, would you please just encourage me that I've got this right. I've got this whole rig packed up. I've got all my stuff. I've got my LZ packed up, my skydiving gear. I've got everything packed up that he told me to bring. The motorcycle on the back on the way to the dealership. And I said, would you please encourage me? I've got all this stuff. I've got the Shofar sitting here in the front seat with me. So I just need some encouragement. Within 45 minutes, maybe to an hour, I was pulling through some small town. I have no idea what the name of it is even. And as I pulled through, here's what happened. Watch. They're blowing shofars. How y'all doing? I gotta document this. So I'm on my way to Albuquerque. The motorcycle has a little problem. I've got to reattach the muffler. The exhaust pipe came out. It rolled over. Anyway, so I had to take a trip to Albuquerque, and I asked Siri to find a Triumph shop, and which is probably impossible. And it brought up Royal Enfield Triumph. I mean, that's crazy. Royal Enfield Triumph. If you're me and you went to Chonati with a Royal Enfield and the Lord showed you we are the Royal Enfield, and we left and went out, and then he had me trade that in and get a Triumph to go to Kill Devil Hills. Now, oddly enough, when I pulled over here to get what I need, right behind me there is what the mind-blowing thing you just saw was. So, what are the odds? Probably like 1 in a trillion. So, I pulled up in this parking lot, and I've been praying, saying, Lord, please encourage me. I need encouragement. I mean, I left on this trip. Here the shofars are right here. Look, see that blue bag? Those are 2 shofars. I was like, Lord, please encourage me that I'm doing what you wanted me to do. And I walked out of my car right here to go into that hardware store. And there are all these people blowing shofars. I was like, what in the world? They're standing in the parking lot blowing shofars all north, east, south, and west. You can't even think that up. And my prayer was, Lord, would you please encourage me so I know that I'm on this road trip doing what you want me to do. You told me to bring the shofars. Here they are. There the shofars are right there in my car in my front seat. Guys, have you ever pulled up and seen anyone blowing a shofar anywhere ever in your life? Ever? Ever. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so that's the way the Lord does things. So now, I'm a watchman. The watchman waits for the sun to rise. I want you to look on my shirt right here. That's the Triumph logo right here. This is the symbol for New Mexico, but it says Albuquerque, and it's like the sun rising. If you're a watchman, what do you think that would do to your psyche if you have the same symbology on the side of your truck, knowing that this is the system that we got saved from? The right side up, upside down. That's why I always do this. His purpose was to make one new man from the two, thus making peace. That's insane. It's not even possible. Okay, now let's watch. Now I'm going to show you another video. Here you go. Utopia, like Utopia, Motopia, Triumph. What do you notice about? Do you notice? Let's see. You see that upside down V? You see that right side up V? I wonder what the odds are that I'm a watchman and I got inverted. And here it is, the same logo that's on my truck, and it's the sun rising. The sun rising, Triumph. I'm a watchman. I'm waiting for the sun to rise. That's what all watchmen wait for. And there it is. And Motopia. Motopia. I wonder what the odds are. This is where I ended up because I had to get something done on the bike. And then I ended up the search and rescue vehicle with the exact same thing on the side of my vehicle as on Triumph. I wonder what the odds are. So yeah, I wonder what the odds are. Okay, so anyway, this is just a quick check-in. Everything's fluid. I'm in Albuquerque, and then I'm off to the next spot, and then off to the next spot, and then off to the next spot until the timing is where he wants it. And then what I've been told to do with the shofar and the rocks is what I'll be doing. And I'll keep you guys in the loop the whole time. I just want to thank all the people that stepped up just to make it easier to go on this trip. And God bless you, and hugs from Johnny. I love you guys. It's going to be cool. I mean, can you imagine it's you and you're praying, you're going, Lord, I just need some encouragement. I mean, I feel a little like I've got all this stuff in my truck. I've got my parachute. I've got my bike. I've got all this stuff. My bike needs to go to a shop in Albuquerque. Like, dude, I was like, I've got the shofars. I mean, and then you pull up and there's 5 people blowing shofars in every direction. It's like, okay. So I was like, thank you. So can you imagine the timing? So when I walked up to those people, I said, I walked up and I said, you don't see a whole lot of people blowing shofars these days. And looked like the pastor. He's like, well, yeah, why don't you come join us? And I said, maybe I'll do that. And then this woman stepped up very arrogantly and she said, we do it every Shabbat. And I was like, oh, religious spirit. Because she felt the need that she had to show like, oh, it's on the Shabbat. And she was real like every Shabbat. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I was led not to go because I was like, do you want me to go there and see what's going on in there? And the answer was no. I just wanted you to see the shofars so you would be at peace. And so I was like, wow, I'm here to blow a shofar. And then there's 5 people blowing shofars towards the 4 corners. Just saying. Okay, I love you guys. Take care.